The movie opens in the most terrifying way possible. Two young women, Becky and her best friend Hunter, are stranded on a 2,000-foot-high decommissioned TV tower deep in a remote desert. No cell service, no way down, no one around for miles. And if that's not bad enough, vultures are beginning to circle. We're quickly taken back in time to understand how they got here. A year earlier, Becky, her husband Dan, and Hunter were on a rock climbing trip. The three of them seemed inseparable, laughing, climbing, and enjoying the thrill of it all. But in one horrifying moment, everything changed. Dan reaches into a crevice for a grip, startling a bird. He slips. Though Becky and Hunter try desperately to save him, the rope snaps. Dan falls to his death. Fast forward 51 weeks. Becky is a shell of who she once was, drowning in grief, alcohol, and isolation. She's cut herself off from her father James, who tries and fails to pull her out of the darkness. One night, she nearly takes her own life, until she receives a surprise call from Hunter. Hunter, now a thrill-seeking travel vlogger, invites Becky on a wild idea: climb the B-67 TV tower and scatter Dan's ashes from the top. "Let's reclaim our lives," she says. Becky is reluctant at first, but haunted by memories of Dan, she eventually agrees. The next day, the two set out across the desert. On the way, Becky sees old photos of Hunter, one of them showing a mysterious man's hand on her waist. When Becky asks, Hunter dodges the question. They check into a small roadside motel for the night. Over dinner, Becky learns that Hunter makes a living documenting daring adventures for social media. The next morning, they continue driving until the B-67 tower looms ahead of them, the fourth tallest structure in the U.S., a rusted metal monster rising into the sky. The access gate is locked and plastered with warning signs, but that doesn't stop them. They ditch the car and begin the trek on foot, passing dead animals and ominous vultures. Hunter even snaps photos for her followers. At the base of the tower, Becky hesitates. The structure is in worse shape than expected. Rusted bolts, rattling ladders, loose rods. But Hunter urges her on. "Face your fear," she says. They harness up and begin the climb. As they ascend, it only gets worse. Nuts and bolts fall, the wind howls, and Becky nearly loses her grip several times. But they finally reach the top, 2,000 feet up, where the desert below looks like a miniature map. The view is breathtaking. Hunter, of course, starts filming. She even convinces Becky to hang off the edge of the platform, for closure and for likes. Terrified, Becky does it. Then, with tears in her eyes, she releases Dan's ashes into the wind. They begin the descent. And that's when disaster strikes. A section of the ladder breaks away entirely. Becky slips, nearly falling, but is saved by the harness. Now they're trapped at the top, the way down destroyed, and their backpack, containing water, their drone, and supplies, has fallen onto a satellite dish far below. The sun beats down. They have no cell signal due to interference from the tower's equipment. Desperate, they try to send Hunter's phone down in a padded chute to get past the interference. It crashes on impact. They later spot two men and a dog at the base of the tower. With a flare gun, they signal, only for the men to steal their car and drive off. Then, things get even worse. Becky notices a 143 tattoo on Hunter's ankle, a code Dan used to say, "I love you." Hunter finally confesses she had an affair with Dan before Becky's wedding. It's a gut punch. Hunter says she ended it because she loved Becky more, but the damage is done. Still, survival comes first. They decide to retrieve the backpack. Hunter rappels down toward the dish but can't reach it. In a bold move, she lets go of her harness, swings onto the dish, grabs the bag, and sends it up using a selfie stick and the rope. Becky pulls it up, relieved when Hunter seems to survive the risky move. Later, they try to send the drone with a help message to the motel, but the battery dies mid-flight. Becky climbs up the tower to charge it using a beacon light, enduring the blistering heat and attacks from vultures. She holds the charger in place with her bare hands until it's full, but drops the bag in the process. She sends the drone out once more, but it's hit by a truck and destroyed just before reaching the motel. Crushed and dehydrated, Becky hallucinates vultures feeding on Hunter. She wakes up in panic, and then realizes it wasn't a dream. Hunter died during the descent to the satellite dish. Becky has been hallucinating her the entire time. All the conversations? Imagined. Alone and desperate, Becky kills a vulture as it begins to eat at her leg wound. She eats its meat raw to regain energy. Then, she descends to the dish where Hunter's body lies. She records a message for her dad, hides her phone in Hunter's shoe, places it inside Hunter's body, and pushes it off the tower, hoping it hits the ground hard enough to send the message. The next morning, Becky's father, James, receives the text and calls 911. Emergency services rush to the scene. At first, James fears the worst when he sees them loading a body bag, until he sees Becky, alive. The movie ends with a tearful reunion between father and daughter, a moment of healing after an agonizing ordeal. If you enjoyed this recap, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. And if there's a movie you'd like us to cover next, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and don't look down.